Hi, this is Justine from The Typical Mom, and today we are making peanut butter cookie brownies, or you could call them cake mix brownies. And they're really fun, and it's a great way if you want to involve your kids in baking in the kitchen. It's a great little baking project. It's super yummy. It has the consistency kind of cookies and brownies. That's why we call them cookie brownies. And we're going to make them with some yellow cake mix. You could also do this with really any other kind of cake mix, but since we're doing peanut butter specifically today, we're going to use yellow. And we're going to use creamy peanut butter. You could use chunky. We prefer creamy. You could also add some chopped nuts, chopped peanuts. I don't really like soft and crunchy. Don't really like nuts in my banana bread kind of thing. So I prefer to use creamy myself, but either way would be really yummy. So we're going to add a little bit of peanut butter in there. 2 eggs. So you're not going to follow the directions on the cake mix box. And you're not going to make them as traditional brownies either. You're going to follow these directions. A little bit of oil. I'm using vegetable oil today, but in the past I was out of vegetable oil and all I had was olive oil, and I used that and it tasted just the same. Okay, so this is your choice. So we have butterscotch chips or peanut butter chips. I've kind of had a problem finding peanut butter chips in the store. So one time I used butterscotch chips and actually they were really yummy. So either way, we're going to use a 1/2 cup of butterscotch chips or peanut butter chips. You could use a whole cup, but I like to kind of break it up with some white chocolate chips, so I kind of just do 1/2 and 1/2, but that's your preference also. And we're just going to kind of fold all of this together. If you haven't baked with your kids, it's actually really fun. My little ones love baking, and kind of the easier the better. I have a recipe for how to make 6 cupcakes out of a box of cupcakes, and my littlest, who's not really little anymore, she's almost 10, but she's still my littlest. I just wrote the recipe down on a little piece of paper and I keep it in the drawer where all of my pot holders are, and she'll ask every once in a while, can I make cupcakes? And she'll make the whole thing herself and then just leave all of the cupcakes in the little muffin pans that she's filled on the countertop for me, and then say that she's ready for me to put them in the oven. It's kind of a little thing where she can feel like she's baking by herself, and she loves it. So this is another really easy baking project you can do with your kids because there aren't a lot of ingredients. It's kind of something where you can teach them how to crack an egg and how to measure the oil and all of that kind of stuff. Easier the better when it comes to kids, I think. And just kind of change it up with the different kinds of cake mix. We've made strawberry cake mix brownies before, and those are really yummy. You really can mix up the way you use cake mix. We've made donuts out of cake mix before. Those are really yummy using a donut pan. So just stay tuned, because other than these peanut butter brownie cookies or peanut butter cookie brownies, you can really do a lot with cake mix. Okay, so I'm going to spray this with some non-stick spray, which I forgot over here. You can also use, this is avocado oil. You can use any kind of non-stick spray. I also have lined it with parchment paper before. You really want it to be easy to come out if you want really clean lines when you cut your brownies. I mean, it really doesn't matter. when it comes to brownies, really. But if you want them pretty, go ahead and use parchment paper or spray it really well with nonstick spray. Let's use our spatula to really, it's kind of thick and gooey, so you really want to kind of spread them down evenly so that it cooks evenly. And the key to cooking cake mix brownies to perfection is the timing in the oven. So you do not want to overbake these. That's the key. That's the trick. You want it just ever so slightly, lightly browned on the very edges. And it's going to look like the middle is not done, and you're going to take it out. You're going to let it rest on the counter and cook in the pan as it cools down, and wait until they're completely cooled before you cut them, and then they'll be absolutely perfect. So we're going to stick these in the oven for about 20 minutes. Depends on your altitude. We're a little bit higher in altitude, so sometimes it takes like 24 minutes for us. But we just want barely brown, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when they're out of the oven. Okay, so they're nice and cooled, and you can tell they're nice and soft, but not so soft that they won't cut and they're all ooey gooey. Perfect texture to actually come out of the pan well and still look pretty when they're cut when you're serving. Not that that makes a huge bit of difference when you're enjoying them, but I think you know what I mean. Oh, see, they're just ooey gooey enough. Ooh. But perfection.